Good morning. This will be a gentle hip opener series. We will begin sitting up on our mats. Take a moment to breathe all the way in. Feel your chest expand. And as you exhale, feel yourself arrive on your mat this morning. Really gently, we're going to inhale, puff the chest forward, let the head fall back a little bit. Exhale, round the back, lean back. Inhale, come forward, taking a baby back bend. Exhale, rounding the back and the shoulders, tucking the head. Take one more round. Inhale and exhale. Just kind of finding our connection to moving with our breath before we really get started on all of those rich hip opening poses. On your next inhale, we are going to rock forward, planting our hands into the mat, coming into a tabletop position. And in this tabletop position, just really gently rocking in circles, warming up the wrists a little bit, and moving the back in whatever way feels best for you this morning. And then really gently reverse your circles. From here, we are going to keep the knees exactly where they are. Hips are going to come back towards the heels. And really gently, we're coming into our first child's pose of the day. Release your head in between your forearms and towards the mat. Feel free to allow your forehead to rest on the mat. This is really gently warming up the very front of our hips. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, collapse a little bit more into this pose. On the next inhale, shift forward back up into your tabletop. This time knees will come wide, toes stay together, and then hips come back towards the heels. This is a little bit of a more direct hip opener. Reach the hands forward as you push the hips back towards the heels. This time allowing your heart to move more towards the mat as well. And then whenever you are ready, take a deep breath in and shift back up. Exhale, come into your wide-legged child's pose. Inhale, shift up. Exhale, come back. For 3 more, inhale forward. Exhale back. 2, inhale forward. Exhale back. Last one, inhale, shift forward. Exhale, come back. And then from this wide-legged child's pose, we are just going to bring our hands by our sides. Maybe the side of your cheek rests on your mat. And just hang out here in this restorative pose. Your hips will resist you at first. Check in with that tension. And then really softly let yourself melt into the pose. Take one more deep breath in. And then whenever you are ready, plant the hands back out in front of you. Knees are going to center underneath your body. Flip the toes, and then allow the hips to come up and back for your first downward facing dog of the morning. Really gently pedal the feet here, just warming up the legs. Inhale, the right leg rises. Make little circles with that leg. And then open your dog. So from here, we are going to bend the right knee and rotate the hips towards the right side. Exhale, straighten the leg, and then lower the leg. Inhale, this time the left leg rises, making little circles again, and then bending that knee and opening the hips to the left side this time, trying to keep the shoulders squared towards the mat as we open the hips here, and then lower that left leg. Bring the knees back down to the mat, meet in tabletop. And then from here, we are going to allow the top of the left foot to plant. The right leg will come long. We're going to make mini rainbows, so tapping the right foot on the right outer edge, and then coming across and tapping it on the outside of the left foot. Inhale, tap, exhale, tap, for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and then straighten the leg behind you, and then reach up a little bit higher. Maybe your gaze comes forward and you take a little bit of a back bend here. Exhale, lower that right knee. Take a deep breath in, and then this time the left leg will rise. We are going to begin again tapping, so left and then across, little rainbows. Trying to come up as high as you can in the middle. Do not forget to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then on 1, maybe take that little back bend again. The left leg comes up higher than you thought it could. Reach through the toes, gaze comes forward, broaden the collarbones. Exhale, lower that left knee. Inhale, toes flip, hips come up and back one more time. From here, the right leg will rise. Maybe feel how different this downward facing dog feels compared to the first one. Inhale, shift forward, the right knee comes towards the right elbow, and then bring that shin across the top of the mat. In this half pigeon, we want to try to get our right knee outside of our right hip, so we kind of have that diagonal. And then to get into the pose a little bit more deeply, option to heel toe the left leg back. And then there are several variations we can hold here, so we can hang out on our hands, just hang out up here, making sure that the toes are pointing directly behind us. The next option is going to be to come down to the forearms and hold the half pigeon here. And then the last option is going to be to take the bind. So there are 2 variations for the bind. Either opposite arm just comes and reaches for that foot, maybe pulls it really gently towards you. Or you can have the same arm reach for the same foot. And if you are more on the flexible side and would just really like a deeper challenge, the fullest variation is if you can get your toes inside of the elbow, and then this turns your half pigeon into a mermaid if you clasp the hands behind you. But if you are still a beginner, do not be discouraged. It took a lot of years for me to get to that. Meanwhile, I have friends that are naturally flexible and they got it pretty easily. So whichever of the options you chose, we're just going to breathe here. Option here also to kind of rock the hips right and left, warming up into all of those little muscles and ligaments. And again, make sure that what you are feeling is a stretch and not any type of pain. There's a big difference between the two. Really gently breathe. Check in with your thoughts. Where did your focus go in this moment of stillness? How are you talking to yourself? Become aware when you have those kind of tougher self-talks where you're like, I can't do this, or this is hard. Because know that you are capable of absolutely anything, including this. Inhale wherever you are. If you're in the bind, come out of it. If you're on your forearms, come up onto your hands. If you heel-toed that left foot back, reach it forward until your toes are directly under your ankle again, and you have enough length to push directly up into a high plank. Inhale, that right leg reaches up. Open the hips again. Maybe you make circles with that knee. And maybe you reverse the circles. And then exhale, lowering that right leg. Take some really deep pedals. And then whenever you are ready, on the next inhale, we're going to bring the left leg up and overhead. Exhale, bring that left knee towards the left elbow, and then cross the shin across your mat. So we're trying to get our shin parallel to the top edge of our mat. Again, my left knee is out further than my left hip. I'm going to heel toe that right leg back a little bit more, just to get into this stretch a little bit more deeply. This is half pigeon. Again, the options here are to hang out on your hands, meet on our forearms, or try for that bind. So either with the opposite hand, just reaching for the foot. If you are doubting yourself, maybe just lift the foot up and see if you can grab it. And then other option for the bind is going to be same arm to that foot, and then allowing the toes to come in towards the elbow. If you want to attempt for full expression, some days I can do it, some days I can't, and that's okay. When I am warming up, I normally like to either choose the palms variation where I'm lifted, or just hang out on my forearms. There is honestly a lot to gain in the simpler variations of poses, and I found that as people begin to get a little bit more deeper in their practice, they tend to skip over the very simple basics. But a lot of the basic components in yoga serve really, really good purposes, whether it's to bring fresh blood flow or strengthen specific parts of the body. Know that wherever you are in this moment is exactly where you need to be today. Remember to breathe here. Check in with yourself. Maybe now that you are a little bit more cognizant of the thoughts running through your mind, you can purposefully remind yourself that you are so capable of doing difficult things. Check in with the tension we are storing in our hips. Feel yourself melt into this a little bit more deeply. Again, option to really softly rock right and left. If you are in the bind, really gently come out of it. If you're on your forearms, we're going to meet on our palms. And if you're on your palms, you've already beat all of us to it. Really gently walk that right foot in if you walked it out until you have the stance to come into a high plank, rising straight up. Don't drag that leg. And then inhale, bring that left leg up, bend the knee. Maybe you make circles. And then reverse the circles. And then whenever you are ready, lower that left foot. Inhale, the right leg will rise. Exhale, gaze in between the hands. Place the right foot inside of the right thumb, and then lower that left knee. Come up into a low variation of a kind of crescent warrior. And then really gently on the inhale, shift forward. On the exhale, come back, flexing that right foot when you get to the back, trying to center the hips over the knees in one line. Option to kind of fold over that right leg. If that's too intense for you, that's totally okay. This morning it's a little bit too intense for me. And then moving with your breath. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, rock back. Again, flexing that right foot when you come back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, rock back, sigh it out. Feel the breath move through your body. Inhale, shift forward one last time. And then this time, when you rock back, try to fold over that right leg one more time. See if it's a little bit easier at this point. Inhale, shift forward. We are going to flip the left toes, come straight up, and then really gently take a twist here. So engage that entire left leg, trying to get the right knee over the right ankle. Left hand is either straight or planted on the mat, and then reach the right arm up and overhead. Scissor your inner thighs in towards one another to help you balance in this. Exhale, lower that right hand. Then we're going to step the right foot back to meet the left. So we're in a high plank. Lower all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And take a few breaths here, just pedaling it out. Check in with the way maybe your right hip feels compared to the left at this point. And on the next inhale, bring the left leg up and overhead. Exhale, gaze in between the hands. The left foot plants inside of the left thumb. Making sure your feet are in two separate tracks. We're going to lower the right knee. And again, taking that movement where we shift forward. Exhale, rock back. Flexing that left foot when we're back. Coming into a half runner's lunge. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, come back. Inhale, shift forward. And this time when you exhale and come back, maybe you fold over that left leg. Come forward one more time. And then centering our left knee over our left ankle, we're going to flip the right toes, engage the right leg, and then really gently bring the left arm up and overhead for a deep twist here. Gaze comes towards the left thumb. Scissor the inner thighs in towards one another if you need help balancing here. And then whenever you are ready, exhale, lower that left hand. The left foot steps back to meet the right. Lower all the way. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, really gently, we're just going to bring our knees to the mat and then find our way to a seat, however that is easiest for you. Lowering all the way onto our backs. Inhale, just really gently bring both knees in towards your chest. Maybe you rock in little circles. And then reverse the circles. Then whenever you are ready, we're going to plant the left foot into the mat. The right leg is going to come across so that the right ankle is at the top of the left thigh. If this is enough of a stretch for you, hang out here. If not, you can thread the hands in between and then bring that left thigh up towards you. So you're really pulling on that left thigh with your hands. They're interlaced. Make sure you flex both feet to protect the ligaments. Trying to push that right knee out a little bit further, and then you can feel the stretch in your hips. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, come a little bit more deeply into this figure 4 stretch. Take one more deep breath in. Then on your exhale, we're going to lower that left foot and then allow both knees to collapse over to the left side. Taking a little bit of a supine twist here. Just kind of neutralizing the body. Inhale, come back up to center. This time the right leg will plant and the left foot will come across the top of the left thigh. Again, if this is enough of a stretch for you, hang out here. If not, option to thread the hands in between and clasp the back of that right thigh this time. Again, my feet are flexed. I'm really gently, intentionally pushing that left knee out and away from me to engage that hip a little bit more. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhales, when you feel like you've settled into this and you want a little bit more of a stretch, pull that thigh towards you just a little bit closer. Again, being very cognizant of what your body is telling you, noticing the difference between any type of pain and a stretch. We always want a nice deep stretch in yoga, never any types of sharp pain. Breathe here. And then really gently lowering that right leg and allowing both knees where they are to rock over to the right side. Gaze comes towards the left. Again, just taking a little supine twist here. And then whenever you are ready, coming back up to center. This time bringing both knees in towards the chest for the last time. Our arms are going to come in between the inner thighs. Hands will clasp the outsides of the feet, and then the feet will rise up towards the ceiling, as if your feet are pushing towards the sky and your hands are pulling your feet back down to earth. This is happy baby. Really gently rock here, moving in whatever way feels best for you. If there are any poses you feel that your body would love to take at this point, anything else that you think would just feel really good, feel free to take that. As always, this is your practice. I'm here to guide, not to set rules. And whenever you feel kind of neutralized, really gently plant the feet into the mat, close enough that your fingertips can graze your heels and their hips width distance apart. Really gently bring your hips up just to settle them. And then we will take this Shavasana with our legs in Baddha Konasana. So a butterfly with your feet, as if when you were little and you did the butterfly. And then just really gently, our hands can come to the tops of our thighs, or they can come out by our sides. Eyes closed. Begin to take note again of the way the breath feels moving in and out of the body. Settling into this space and time. Feel present. Holding a moment of gratitude to yourself for showing up on your mat and doing something good for yourself and for your body. A lot of times we thank everyone else for all of the things that they do for us, and we forget to thank ourselves. Take one more deep breath in, allow the legs to come long, reach the fingertips up and overhead for a nice big good morning stretch, or if you are about to settle into sleep, a good night stretch. And then however you would like to get there, really gently come up into a seat. Thank you so much for spending time on your mat with me. I really hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you subscribe, and if you enjoy hip openers, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what your favorite part of the sequence was in the comments. Okay, have a wonderful day.